amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert, Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies!
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around. Woo.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan De Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Cunchar that's got around Dylan De Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cunchar got past, so Dylan.
Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan De Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're off.
First lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the side, but he hasn't implemented it, which is fair enough. It's pretty scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely needs to run it into really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way as well.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be watching from. Welcome back to Sim Racing World TV. Welcome back to the W&B Tools IMSA Shadow Series here live on Friday nights for round number 4 of Season 2 of 2024. We come at you tonight from the concrete jungle of California for some Long Beach love. It's going to be absolute chaos here tonight between this multi-class madness out on track. And of course, the commentators here, Hamish Munro, myself, alongside Stefanie Piccoli. Once again, Steph, well, you missed out last time on the chaos that ensues at Long Beach for these cars, but tonight it's I think it's going to be hell for leather and possibly a couple of body panels bent up by the end of this race.
Yeah, I think I'll be very surprised if there is any panels missing or bent tonight. I did miss the last time, so hopefully we'll be in for a good one tonight and the guys put on a show.
Of course, multi-class madness, we know what it can bring. We've got 8 GTPs out on track alongside 11 GTD cars here tonight. Lesser numbers here tonight, as expected. I mean, N24 tomorrow, as well as Long Beach. It's not everyone's favourite track to race, especially multi-class, so, but still good numbers, seeing that we're right the day before at Enduro. But it still should be a good race nonetheless. But you know, this season it's already thrown us up a couple of curveballs. We are without Blake Neck tonight at the moment, so we may get another winner here in the IMSA Shadow Series for the GTP class, but IMSA can throw up anything. Anyone could possibly win it if it's their day today and if they can keep it as clean as possible. Outright pace, maybe not going to matter too much. I think it's all going to come down to how clean and how much you can get out of trouble here tonight. Yeah,
it's definitely going to come down to keeping it off the balls, getting a clean exit, particularly out of that last corner hairpin. That one is, make or break your lap. It's obviously the last corner, but making sure you get a good run out of it, it sets you up for your next lap. So that will be a major factor, as well as, like I said, keeping it clean, keep it off the walls. Watch out for some of those curbs; they will spit you to the other side of the track. That's something to look out for tonight.
Also, thinking about how much the traffic is going to have a part to play. It's a tight circuit. It's it's a quick lap for sure, but racing around here for 45 minutes, trying to get moves done at corners where you've really got to force the move on the other drivers. It is going to be incredibly challenging, especially this corner here, the last hairpin. We could see a fair few bingles happening through there. Saw it last time we raced this track in Season 1. A couple of chats out there already. Jonas Seacamp bring out Harrison Dodds, then Doddsy replying, ease up Jonas soon, mate. And then also Andrew Rushworth. Good evening, Hamish and Steph. Great to have everybody here for the Ham and Pickle Show Friday nights for IMSA. It's going to be a good time going forward out at Long Beach. I mean, tonight, it's what other word can we use for it, Steph? It's going to be an absolute meme for how many incidents we could have out on this circuit. We may not have any, which I would be incredibly surprised about.
Yeah.
I have seen races around here without safety cars, but we are over the edge in terms of percentages that are leading to, we're more likely to get a safety car around here than any other circuit on the calendar. Just based, the characteristics of the track. It's short, it's tight, and it's surrounded by walls. You don't have much room for runoff when you get into an incident, and we can very easily have a track jam around here. I do know when 86s raced here, there were a couple of complaints from drivers that maybe the safety car wasn't called when it should have been. Obviously, as an 86 driver, how did you feel about that scenario going forward? Obviously, with all respect to race control, sometimes it's tough to make those decisions. But what's your opinion on that? Do you think the safety car should have been called during that race at any point?
There might have been a couple of instances where it could have been called. Look, in saying that, did it cause further incidences from occurring? No. The track at some points with other cars coming through? No, not really. It didn't really impact the race all that much. I mean, for the guys that were involved in the incidences, Obviously, that is played in their finishing places, but I don't actually think it's put a dampener or sort of had much of an influence on it as a may have been put across as it had. You're always going to say, yeah, call a safety car, but it's not always needed.
No, and that is true, and it's a tough judgment call. Obviously, I think if the track's jammed and it would be a red flag in real life, then you don't really have an excuse to not call a safety car. But you know, sometimes it is just better just to keep the flow of the race going. You don't want to bunch the field back up because that could lead to another safety car happening afterwards. So I think it's a fair call, nonetheless, whether it is or it isn't. Andrew Rosser is saying, what's our safety car count for tonight? I'm going to go bold. I don't know if it's bold. I'm just going to say I think we're probably only going to get 2 in the 45 minutes because the race controllers may not be as eager to fire the gun on having the safety car come out one after another, just based on how much it slows up the race and also how many more incidents could be caused by having it come out on track. So I think probably 2 is our maximum tonight.
Oh, I want to go 3. I want over 45 minutes. I want to go 3. 3 safety cars tonight. One accident does sort of stick out to myself from the 86s when we were here. Was at the fountain. That sort of did get a little bit tricky. Track did get a little bit blocked. So that would be one to look out for. And with the lapping traffic, 2 different cars at different speeds, potential for chaos for them.
Yeah, I think the fountain, probably also the last hairpin as well, and possibly any cars getting stuck in the tyre barrier down at turn 9, where we can see Greg Barber coming down to. Now, at start of qualifying though, of course, first 15 minutes go to the GTD cars, second 15 go to the GTPs. Dodsy's not out on track yet, Cameron. You got to wait 15 minutes until Dodsy can come out on track. But you can have a chat to him in our YouTube chat, of course, until he does get on track. He will be signing autographs in there for anyone who wants to pay him money, of course. I know that Dodsy's all about making some dosh. But first lap starting now, Dylan Shepherd, currently the fastest man through the first sector, but we'll see what he can do throughout the rest of his lap. His teammate Greg Barber had just started his, as Andrew Dyson now goes fastest through the first as he comes out of the fountain section.
GTPs are quite quick. GTDs, I think the GTDs are going to have the advantage around here tonight over the GTPs, just for maneuverability.
I
think
think
a good one, though.
they're going to be able to have tighter battles, most likely.
Yeah.
The lap time difference is not that much around here, just because of how short the track is and the amount of corners. Their time gain comes pretty much from the speed out of corners and down the straights. That's where the difference comes.
Yeah.
So we may see traffic of GTP cars getting stuck behind the GTDs for a period of the lap because they just can't get a move done yet on the GTD cars as we get our first times coming in. Dylan Shepherd has gone top of the timing sheet. As I said that though, Andrew Dyson goes better with a 118.3. Shepherd's time is a 118.8. Only 2 drivers into the 18s at the moment. As I say that, Greg Barber goes 18.8 as well. So now 3 drivers into the 18s, and then it is Dean Mackay leading the way for the drivers who've gotten a 19 so far in qualifying.
Then Gordo, just in the chat there saying he's practicing for the Nürburgring tonight, so he's definitely won't be participating tonight with the his class tonight.
Have we had Gordon on track? I think we had him last week, didn't we?
We had him last week.
Yeah.
We did, yes. Yeah, Gordon McCulloch.
That's right, yeah, Gordon McCulloch, yeah.
He was there last week, so missing him out there tonight.
Oh, that's okay. Hopefully he has at least a decent run in the N24, so the practice was not all to waste. When he could have been racing instead. Hopefully at least then he can finish that race and finish in a prominent position as well.
100%.
As we continue on through qualifying. Qualifying, is it as much of an advantage around here as other tracks, Steph? I think unless you can get it on the front row, it doesn't really matter where you start because there could be chaos. I think if you start from the back, it could almost be better for you just to start from the lane. Because at least if there is some carnage turn 1 or in through turn 2 and 3 at the fountain, at least then you're out of the danger zone pretty much.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer to start from the closer to the rear. Definitely not mid-pack. Preferably towards the rear. You've got a bit more of, you know, if you can see ahead a little bit as to what's happening. You might be able to, you know, avoid the accident or pull it up a bit quicker. I'd say you want to be at the front, pointy end of the group, or definitely at the back. I wouldn't want to be in the middle.
What I will say is, if you want to boost your safety rating on iRacing, or if you're coming up through licenses and say you're in D class and you see that the Ferrari Challenge is at Long Beach for the week, race every single race you can around here and just start from the pit lane, because the amount of safety that you will gain by getting 0 times around this track is ridiculous. It is ridiculous if you go a race without getting an incident at Long Beach, and it's literally you just start from the lane and then you just trundle around for the 20 minutes, and then you'll gain just a heap of safety rating. It was how I got through D class. I literally raced here for the week of Long Beach. The week after I was in C class, even won a couple of races just by staying out of trouble. But yeah, it's one of those tracks that unless you can qualify up the front and you know you got pace over the field to get away early, you start from the lane and try and avoid some of the incidents that occur. I don't know if it's worth if you're in the GTPs, but definitely for the GTD class might be good.
Yeah, league-wise, it's not too bad. I wouldn't want to start in pit lane with a league, but official-wise, 100%. Yeah, I did that for quite a bit of going through my licenses, starting from pit lane and then just taking the hit in the I rating, and then you sort of build that up as you go afterwards. So it's definitely the easiest, the quickest way of getting your safety up, and most likely, and definitely the safest way of doing it. Just, there's a lot of people out there that unfortunately believe you win it on the first corner of the first lap. So. Especially when you're out there for a longer race, it's not how you want to start.
No, definitely not. At the moment, though, halfway through the GTD portion of qualifying, it is a DPR front row lockout with Dyson and Jones top 2. Then we have Shepherd and Barber and Hughes have blackout OPR. And then Dean Mackay from TriStar Racing ahead of Ty Delaney of Fishy Motorsports, Damien McVeigh for DPR, back in P8, Mick Clifton, then the only Ferrari out on track. It's currently P9. Chris Island then making up the top 10 for DPR. Jono and Wardby yet to go out on track for a qualifying lap. I'm unsure, though, if they may have a rear of grid.
Might see if I can jump in there and have a quick look.
The problem is, though, Keegan, iRating's not going to get you your license. It's your safety that gets your license. And you'll never gain a license if you don't do your MPRs. So you have to do, if you want to get out of D class, you have to get out of D class races. Once you're out of rookies, you never want to race rookies again. Pretty much, you'll never gain anything
rookies,
from
no
it.
thanks.
No, you're more likely to lose than to gain anything significant out of rookies.
Yeah, and if you're in a higher rank class and you jump into the rookies, you take a harder hit.
So yeah, you're better off just doing your MPRs, doing the D-class races. If the Ferraris are here next week, just do a full week of a Ferrari Challenge. You'll be surprised how much you can actually gain by keeping it off the wall and by getting 0 times races as we continue on. So still a big love for the Porsche at the moment. Top 9 cars on the road are all Porsches. I did ask the question, it's yet to be answered for me though, with the announcement of the Mustang GT3 and the Corvette GT3 coming out in Season 3 of iRacing, if we would be offering a free car change, like another free car change to the GT drivers in case they wanted to drive the Stang or the Vet. I haven't got an answer for that question, so I don't know. It might just be you just have to save your car change if you want to race one of them, because obviously they come out before the end of this season. Our Season 2 ends after Season 3 has already begun. So you might get 2 rounds out of them, or you just wait until our Season 3 starts 3 weeks later. But It's but it's quite interesting. Interesting that they didn't bring out Gen 3, but I think now you could almost guarantee that's going to be Season 4, since the Bathurst 1000's like 2 weeks after the start of Season 4. I can't really see anything else coming at that point.
I think they'll release it just before the 1000.
Yeah. Because the only other thing we're waiting for at the moment is the McLaren 720 and then also the Lamborghini GTP car, which I think they're just going to wait till Season 1 to have that for the D24. So, nah, Dodzy, I don't think it's going to be Season 1.
Nah.
I highly doubt it's going to be Season 1,
surprised.
to be honest with you.
I would like to hope sooner.
I was right, though, on what cars are getting rain next, barring the TCRs. They didn't get rain, but I was right on what's getting rain. The Porsche Cup car, the GT4, the LMP3, and then also the MX-5 as well. So I didn't guess the MX-5, but 3 of the 4 I got correct.
Stop the TCRs for the MX-5, you're right.
Yeah. So Dyson's now going to cross the line. He's looking pretty healthy here in qualifying with an 18.3 as he goes better with an 18.33 that last time by. Dylan Shepherd, though, has gone P2 for Blackout OPR with an 18.5. Chris Island and Ryan Jones line up in behind Greg Barber, making up the top 5 at the moment. In a little bit of limbo right now. We've got 5 or 4 minutes to go. No one's really improving on what they're doing, and we're kind of just waiting to see who's going to claim these final positions in qualifying.
Yeah, there hasn't been massive improvements on lap times at the minute. So the guys have put them down fairly early, which is always good. But you always want that bit more of excitement in quality.
Well, young Ty just trying to get any advantage he can by running the deep line through the final corner, gets you the better run down the straight. So he'll just be hoping to gain anything he can here over the top 5 in qualifying as we continue on. We'll see if anybody can topple the Blackout OPR DPR top 5 lockout at the moment, and if anyone can challenge those 2 teams and break their way in. I think realistically, although Delaney's going better in the first sector, realistically probably only Adam Hughes is going to be able to better it, but 5th, 6th and 7th place currently separated by 0.03 of a second between all 3 of them.
There's not much in it at all. Any of those guys can sort of pull one out of the bag, so to speak. Lay out a quick lap down.
There's absolutely nothing between them right now. As Ty comes through the Formula D section, so 2 weeks in a row we get an FD section on the track. As he makes his way through the final corner, such a tough corner to get right. You run it too shallow, you end up on the inside wall. You run it shallow, but for too long, then you end up getting into the wall on the outside. Barb's saying the VR capped out apparently. Let's see if he can get that fixed as Delaney now goes P4 on the road with an 18.6. So that strategy of going deep at the final corner helped him out on that run through that lap there.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, that last corner can make or break your lap. So there's evidence of it right there.
We'll see if anyone can bring a challenge to Andrew Dyson now, who currently tops the timing sheets. 1.5 minutes to go for the GTD cars. Dylan Shepherd currently sits P2 on the road. Which I have actually got a question for Barbs in the chat. Barbs, what's the significance of the red lettering? Because I noticed they're different on the majority of the cars on the side of the Porsche. If you have that info for me, let me know what the significance of that is, because I know that some of them have like numbers, some of them have other things on there. Whatever it is, or whether it's just random, I don't know. We'll see.
Might be a driver's pick.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's meant to be their number, but they have to run a different number in this series. I don't know. Not 100% sure on that one, but 60 seconds to go until the GTPs will be allowed out on circuit. Remembering that these cars will be allowed to finish their laps past the first 15 minutes, but they won't be able to start another one once the 15 is up. As Dylan Shepherd going for the Ty Delaney strap, going super, super deep. And trying to set off on another lap here to try and challenge Andrew Dyson Barb saying, yeah, I think it was intended as preferred number, but then in some series it doesn't really work. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, they always have, each series sort of has their own sort of overlay for numbers, their boards and whatnot. So I know the IMSA do, for example. So it's potentially muck it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not just that though, Steph. It's the fact that it's on like the side of the car as like a graphic, not actually as a number. But some series your number may not be available because someone else might have it.
Yeah.
You know, so. I mean, it's a cool concept, but it'd be so much work for you to try and get it done for every single league if you couldn't get the same number across the board. As race control over the radio, letting the drivers know that the GTPs will be allowed on track. I believe Dylan may have just scraped the wall. So even though he's gone purple in the first, this lap may not count when he crosses the line as he comes through into the final couple of corners now.
Is there a spot you want to scrape the wall after having a couple of good sectors there, because it's right towards the end of the lap.
It's a little low apparently. We'll get it turned up a bit. Yeah, he's pulled out. So that'll be end of his run. Adam Hughes has now found himself in the top 5. D Mackay couldn't go any better as the GTPs are now out on track for their qualifying runs. GTDs as they stand, it was Dyson on pole to Shepherd to Island to Hughes to Delaney to Jones, to Barber, to Mackay, to McBay, to Clifton. That's the top 10. And then Johnston and Wardby never set times in qualifying. As it's been Brandon Grotch is out on track. We are without Blake Neck this week, or a Jake Edwards. So could he go unchallenged here tonight on his way to a win? We'll have to wait and see. As he makes his way towards the end of the lap. Harry Dodds has now started his qualifying run. We'll stay on board with him for this lap around. Hopefully he can hold it together. He's gone fastest through the first, but he is the first driver to go through there. Looks to be wrestling it through these corners though, Steph. Really having to overcorrect and fix up any niggles that happen on exit.
I'd pick up, he might have a bit of... Looks like there might be a bit of oversteer. Just trying to... Yeah, it's turning well there, but you might have a bit of oversteer or a bit of understeer depending on which corner he's at with the speed differences in some of them. Looks like a bit of oversteer in that one there. You want to have the car set for the tight corners, but make sure you can get around, but you also got to be mindful of the quicker flat out corners that are around this track as well.
Well, he comes down towards the line. What's the time going to be? For Harry Dodds, it's a 1:11.7. We should see faster than that though in qualifying, as Brandon Grotch has gone 2 purples in a row. We saw some drivers get into the 10s in practice, including Ashton Rees, Brandon Grotch and Josh King.
Yeah.
But whether they can back that up in qualifying is another story, as Doddsy's gone even faster in the first sector. As Grotch is going to come round and I would assume go top of the timing tower when he crosses the line. Is the time even counted? I don't think the time's actually counted, so he must have had a wall. He must have hit the wall.
Had a mark along the way somewhere.
Yeah, so he'll have to try and get a clean run if he wants it to work out for him in qualifying. Jake Edwards in the chat saying, up the OPR boys, wish you were out on track with us, as Zach Mitchell's had a spin between turn 4 and 5. I wish you were out there on track with us tonight, Jake. Would have been good to see you have a crack at Long Beach. As we're waiting for 4 drivers to set times, though Keegan Caldwell's not out on track, so he did say that his VR had crapped out. We'll see if he's actually able to race or not. Might still be trying to get that fixed. As Josh King goes P2 with a 1:11.3 this time by. Brandon Grotch going to come around through the FD section and see if he can finally get a time on the board. Although it actually looks like he's going to try and set up the next lap to be the one to have a run.
Yeah, you want to try and get as prepared as you can for your flyer lap. Make sure the tyres are at a good temp and at pressure. And you nail you have a decent not fast outlap, because you don't want to shock up the tyres too much. So you take a little bit easy on your outlap, but make sure you get the temp and pressures up, so you can go hard on your.
Oh, he's just
flyer.
hit the wall at the fountain.
Damn.
Pressure getting
game
to
over
him
for that
there.
lap.
Yeah, that lap's going to have to be restarted. Jordan Ferguson currently on 2 green sectors. Harry Dodds currently sits top of the timing sheets with a 1:11.03 at the moment. Ferguson will be hoping to go better. Doddsy's just gone fastest in the last sector. First 10 of the session with a 1:10.6 from Dodds. We'll see if
That's
anyone
quicker
else...
than what we've seen in practice.
Oh,
I think.
no, I
from what
think
just
Grotch got a 10.3 in practice. I think. I could be wrong. That's off the top of my head. It's Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
Comes down towards the line. What does he do? He goes P2 with an 11.1 across the back of that lap. It's a nightmare fuel for you with the Pepe car. Of course, Keegan Caldwell is now out on track. We'll see what sort of time he can get in. Of course, changes livery every week. We have yet another Itashat. Looks to be a Cowboy Bebop character this week for young Keegan. We'll see if it does him any better.
He likes keeping us on our toes, young Keegan.
Oh, it's nice, you know. It's a nice change every week. I don't mind the GTPs getting a bit creative with what they run on the car. He knows he's on screen. Yeah, I don't mind when they get creative with it, and they go a little bit more, we'll say, exotic with their livery choices, or exuberant, we'll say as well, because it gives something to talk about. Just have a laugh about it every single week.
That's it.
Jake saying, love to be out there, but work commitments got me waking up at 3:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. and starting the car in Nürburgring 24 at 8:30. Oh, well, you hate to see it, Jakey, but hopefully have a good race tomorrow for the N24. Brendan Grotch, though, looks to get a good time under his belt. Keegan's going to cross the line. Is the time going to count for him? It does. He's on a 1:11.5. Not quite at the pace he had in practice. He's a little bit off it as Grotch comes through turn 10. Or turn 9.
Straight there.
That was very, very close. We currently stand. Jack Anderson, the only driver yet to set a time in qualifying. Ferguson, though, has now gone fastest in the second sector, so the Pepe car's found some pace out there at the moment. Grotch going to come through the final corner. He did have a bit of traffic there who had pulled up for him to let him go. Comes across the line. Is he going to beat his teammate to pole position? He is with a 10.4. Great time there from Grotch. Dodsey now has a bit of work to do. As Ferguson's going to come across the line. We'll see if he can go any better and get it into the 10s this time by. Across the line. 1:11 dead on that lap, so it wasn't quite good enough to get into the 10s and crack the top 2.
Very close, though. Not far off at all.
In saying that, Grotch has gone even faster this lap as Harry sets up for another run the next time by. So we'll sit with Grotch until he finishes this lap.
2 purple sectors so far. That's impressive.
We'll see what it amounts to. Hasn't gone faster in the 3rd sector, as now every car has set a lap here in qualifying for the GTP class. Anderson, the only driver to not get into the 11s at the moment. Grotch comes around the final corner. Come across the line. What's the time going to be? He's already got pole position at the moment. It's actually a time that has. It's a time that hasn't actually. Has it even counted? Yeah. It did not count. No, it didn't. So, crowd favourite, most famous man in the GTP field, Harry Dodds, on screen now. He's gone purple in the first. We'll see what he can do across the rest of this lap, as well as he goes big into the wall at turn 9. That'll be the end of that run, and he'll have to tow it back and get the car fixed up. We'll get some Kennedy on screen now in the Cadillac. never have enough of this car.
It's good to see the guys having a bit of fun with these liveries and whatnot. It's good to see.
Every
Bit of fun.
2 counts quicker. This will be a wicked race up front. We'll have to wait and see. Always saying that though, Anderson puts it into the tyre barrier. He'll continue on though. Caldwell trying to make his way through the circuit once again. Zach Mitchell as well. Got a podium last week on debut. We'll see what he can do here tonight, if he can go any better. We know that Keegan got his first podium last week. And, you know, if he can keep it clean, he might find himself there again.
Definitely.
It's going to take some clean driving. It is.
Anything is possible around Long Beach.
Well,
start from pit lane and you could win it.
Apparently anything's possible at Road Atlanta as well. So, you know, Long Beach could just throw an absolute wild card for us in terms of what's possible out on track. Big wiggle off that car as it comes through. Brandon Grotch looks to try and better his time now qualifying. Under 5 minutes to go, in fact nearly 4 minutes to go in qualifying. So not long to go now for these drivers to get their times in, try and beat anyone they're trying to beat on the circuit in qualifying conditions. Josh King, the only GTP car not out on track at the moment.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see he hasn't gone out yet.
He's been out there, but he hasn't come in since his last time.
Another one, yeah.
He has done 11.3. He might just be willing to wait for the race.
Yeah, he might be happy with that time. Maybe a PB for him, maybe. Not sure. Laid one down, got a bank for him. He's happy. I think the only thing that could potentially have thrown this race into chaos would have been weather.
Oh, that would have been 45 minutes of us just talking absolute nonsense. Because it would have been safety car after safety car after safety car. It would have been...
would have been nuts.
We haven't had wet weather yet in IMSA. No. Apparently next week at Mugello we're expecting rain. Could it have come a week earlier and caused even more chaos? Possibly, but...
Possibly.
We'll
leave it for Mugello.
We'll leave it for Mugello. Nice little blimp view now of the circuit as Dodsey comes through turn 4 and 5. Grotch is looking to better his time and he crosses the line as well. But it shows how hard it is to actually get a clean lap when you're on a push.
Yep.
You know, like the drivers are really struggling to get more times on the board. You know, just in qualifying conditions, in qualifying spec, and under pressure like this, trying to go better. As Grotch has now brought it into the lane, so he may be accepting his fate and accepting of his time as Dodds has now gone fastest through the third sector. We'll see what he does through the FD section. Needs to keep it nice and clean through the hairpin. Does well as he comes down the main straight. Will it be any better for him when he crosses the line? Doesn't appear to be so. I think the first sector might have hurt him a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah, he's gone at 10.9, but it's still not going to be better than his previous best.
In P2, which is nice. Fairly comfortably P2. It's about a 10th, exact 10th. So fairly comfortable there, sitting in P2. I think he's, if he's got another lap of fuel worth in the car, then definitely go again with that momentum. But never know. See what happens. This track around here, when you're pushing on the limit, it's so easy to get it off track. Cut a little bit too much curb, or you're cutting those red lines, especially this one up here. I think it is from memory. Yeah, through here. If you cut that right hander a little bit too much, you're gonna get an off track, and it's so easy to graze the inside walls around here as well, because you want to cut it as fine as you can on turning to keep it tight, so you get a good straight line exit out of the corner. But it's so easy just to clip those walls.
Yeah, turn 9 as well, when Reese just came through.
Yeah.
you can very easily cut way too shallow, and it's very deceiving. You think you can cut a lot more than you actually can, and it catches a lot of drivers out.
Definitely. I've been caught a few times through there.
Yeah.
You think you're doing well, then it's like, oops.
Kobe Jordan saying Dodsey paying 1-to-1 on sports bet. He's paid out $1.10 whenever you put a bet on Dodsey to win the race. 10 seconds left in qualifying. De Vries doesn't go any better than his previous best. There are 4 cars in the 10s. Ferguson and De Vries in there as Grotch has gone hard into the wall. Keegan Caldwell currently makes up the top 5 cars on track, but that'll be the end of qualifying. He's doing a bit of a skid for us in the background, as I think that was actually an unintentional skid as he went a little bit too far off the exit of the corner. He towed then, and it's still caused death. Oh, wow. As if that's happened. But that will bring it in.
Demolished.
Oh, I know. And I'm baffled that actually occurred like that. Wow.
Anything's possible in IMSA.
That is very, very true.
Possible.
That is very true. But our race session will be coming up in just a moment's time. Ladies and gentlemen, 45 minutes around this track. We'll see if the drivers can hold it together and keep it nice and clean. Do we get a car in the wall on lap 1, Steph?
For the cards. I wouldn't.
I think the deck might be stacked if it's on the cards. Like,
as I wouldn't take it off the table.
So are we gonna pull an early 2000s Yugi right now? It's in the heart of the cards. We're just gonna draw a safety car off the top of the deck when we need it.
I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
All cars will be gridding up now for the start of our race, ladies and gentlemen. The grid will be as follows. Brandon Grotch will start pole position ahead of Harry Dodds for a Frog Leap. Juice Racing front row lockout, the first of season 2 here tonight. Jordan Ferguson, Ash De Vries and line up in behind for a Velocity Racing team second row lockout, with Keegan Caldwell making up the top 5. He'll start alongside Team SRW's Josh King, ahead of Velocity Racing teams Zach Mitchell and Jack Anderson to make up the field for the GTPs. For the GTDs here tonight, it will be Andrew Dyson starting on pole position for DPR ahead of Dylan Shepherd of Blackout OPR. Chris Island and Adam Hugheslin line up in behind for the same teams on the second row. Ty Delaney will then make up the top 5 ahead of Ryan Jones, with Greg Barber and Dean Mackay lining up in behind them. Damien McBay and Mick Clifton will then make up the top 10 for the GTDs, with Greg Johnson and Brett Wardby making up the grid. Race controllers here tonight, Greg Leake and Tyson McAvoy. Big thank you to them for helping us out here tonight.
Yeah, shout out to all the race control guys. It's a very important job for these races to make sure we've got all those guys out there on track to keep the race running smoothly.
Do we think insurance claims to panel beaters go up whenever drivers race at Long Beach?
Ooh. I don't. Would you have an insurance claim on a race car? I think you'd probably just fix it yourself, wouldn't you? You'd have a crew. You'd have a crew.
I suppose it'd have to be a registered vehicle to have insurance on it.
Yeah.
Maybe only if it's club racing and you have to have a registered vehicle to race.
I think so. Or track, just a normal regular track day.
Yeah, but it's not like they run track days here.
No. I think it'd be ambitious if they did.
We are just awaiting only 3 drivers to join the grid before we get our rolling start. At least it's not a whole lap. It's only the start of the FD section that they have to come through under the safety car, and then it comes into the pit lane at the end of the lap. So only half a lap for them. It's not going to be so bad. Cargotch saying race cars can get insurance. Well, there you go.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
I suppose if it bursts into flames, maybe that's no one's fault. Yeah, surely its higher insurance premium is when you race it around a street circuit like Long Beach.
I think so.
So all cars who set a qualifying time are on the grid, including Greg Johnson, who couldn't set a time in qualifying. Brett Wardby is in the lane. Whether he's starting from pit lane or starting this race altogether will be answered when we come through turn 1. Lights are up though. The cars are going to get their rolling start running, and we'll only be a short couple of meters away from the start of this race. As SDK is going wild as the gridded up cars are apparently jumping each other for position. Yeah, though, the Frog Leap Juice Racing front row lockout of Grotch and Dodds. Or space to be left back to the GTD cars.
Not very often, is it? Front row.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, especially in IMSA. We haven't really seen it since season 1 when both Grotch and Haslan. Yeah, they've gone for the smarter choice. They've gone single file.
Yep.
Which I think is the smarter decision through the final corner. Come up to the line. It is green flag running here for the GTPs. As we can see, there's an absolute wall for the front 2 rows of the grid. As they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. We'll see if they survive their way through. Oh, it looks like Caldwell's on the outside line. I believe the GTDs are about to get started as well. So we'll check those guys out back here. There's a good start there from Dyson up the front of the field. As the GTPs in the bottom corner continue on. Dodds has already claimed the lead over Brandon Grotch.
Yes.
So come through turn number 1. One of the Blackout OPR cars into the wall. That was Hughes, but he's continued on. Oh, but he's been spun round into the fountain. And it's already claimed the victim here tonight. Luckily for him, though, he's able to keep going. Wardby is not out on track, so he's not racing here tonight. But Hughes already at the back of the field at the moment.
That's, I'll leave that one up to race control there. That could have been nasty. Could have cleaned up a hell of a lot more other cars.
Could have been very, very nasty. Gordon saying the whole field porkers. Yeah, we finally, mentioned it last week, we finally have the Porsche Cup Series I've been asking for, but it's the GT cars with 2 separations of the Ferrari and the Audi at the back of the field in Clifton and Johnston. Top 8 cars in this class are all Porsches. Hopefully we'll see more of a spread once the Vet and the Mustang come into play as well.
Yeah, you tend to find people tend to gravitate more towards the newly released cars.
Yeah.
So definitely see a few of those come into play, I would think.
Harry Dodds leading the way to his teammate Brandon Grotch. Ash DeVries with all sorts of pressure from in behind by Keegan Caldwell. Guys can do here tonight. They can continue the fight going off the back of the Barbie car. P3 on the road. Jake Edwards, good to see SRW bring back Porsche Cup for Long Beach. As Josh King's had an incident in the background, but he is still rolling. I think he may just run it a little bit too tight through the final corner, but he is still going. Possibly just slowing the car up. We're going to get a lot of those where SDK see someone's had a crash, but it's literally just them going at a snail's pace through the final corner. As we continue on here tonight.
You tend to find that as well with the in-game crew chief. If someone's slowed right up for such as the hairpin here at Long Beach, you have to take a fair bit of speed off it. It says if someone stopped ahead or incident ahead, but there isn't actually an incident.
Yeah, it can catch you out a lot, can't it? Where it mentions, incident ahead, drive-through penalty, by the way, for car 23. That is Chris Island. That'll be for the contact that includes the fountain. Yeah, it'll say that, but it's literally just them going super slow through the corner because they've had to pull it right up just to get it around the corner.
Yeah.
It can be quite deceiving at times, as the Frog Leap boys have already started to build a gap back to P3 at this stage in time.
nice clean race so far. Obviously we had that one incident, but the rest of it's been fairly straightforward. They've looked to have spread themselves out a little bit and settled into their groove.
Do you think you may have been overzealous in going for 3 safety cars tonight, Steph?
At this point, yes.
No, I don't blame you, but I made the same mistake in F3s. So, I mean, we're only 4 minutes in. You gotta remember that we only get 40 minutes of possible safety car because the last 5 minutes we don't get one. So
that's true. Yeah, look, I probably was a bit overzealous. Better be over than under, right?
Go big or go home.
That's it. don't do a half an Andy job. Go the full hog.
Exactly right, full hog. Nice and leading the way for the GTD cars. At the moment, he's got Shepherd all over the back of him, but he's got backup from his teammate Ireland. He will be coming through the lane for a drive-through penalty, so the top 2 will have a nice little lead over Ryan Jones, who's currently P4 on the road, but under intense pressure here from Greg Barber and Ty Delaney. Up towards turn number 10 they come now. Jones covers the inside line beautifully through here. Be careful, that curve can spit you out wide into the tyre barrier very easily. It's all about the perfect amount of balance around this track, and you've got to respect this place. It's like Bathurst. You bring the respect, the track will respect you in tow. But also sometimes it's a bit of a joke with Steph and just decides, nah, stuff, you can go on the wall.
Yeah.
Screw your respect. You know, you didn't earn it.
No, it dangles that carrot. You know, you think you're doing really well, and you just go that little bit more, and it bites you hard. So, especially with it being all concrete, it bites hard.
As current running order of things for both the fields, Harry Dodds leads the way to Brandon Grotch and Ashton Rees. That's the top 3. Then Corwell, Ferguson, Mitchell, Anderson and King make up the running for the GTP cars. For the GTDs, it's currently Dyson to Shepherd to Ireland. And then Jones, Barber, Delaney, Mackay, McVeigh, Clifton, Hughes, Johnston make up the running order. Brett Wardby has not made the start of this race. We are expecting, though, Chris Ireland to come in through the lane for a drive-through penalty very shortly.
Yeah, you only get 3 laps to serve your flags in iRacing, and unfortunately, if you don't serve it within that 3 laps, you do get DQ'd. So time is running out a little bit there for him to serve the penalty.
See here, after 6 laps, the GTP leaders have started to catch pretty much nearly the whole of the GTD field, as Mick Clifton's had heavy damage on his car. They may have had an incident, or not, he may have pulled it up, but Clifton's carrying heavy damage. But Dodsey is already making his way through the field now, and Grotch not too far behind him.
He made some nose-to-tail contact at the hairpin there, Clifton. So that gave him that bit of damage there. It did look like it sort of popped the bonnet, the bull bar back on, or the bar back on, sorry, the bull bar, front bar. Could have used it as a bull bar. Looked like it sort of rectified itself there, so bit of net code involved as well, potentially.
He's now back out on track. So he had another incident. I just want to check it to see if it was a crash or if he actually just pulled it up, but I think it was a crash because he ran super deep through turn 1. There comes Josh King. He wanted it round the outside. Adam wasn't quite sure where to go, and unfortunately ran it super deep into the runoff area of turn 1.
Gone straight ahead. Yeah. You need that runoff area at turn 1.
Well, if it wasn't there, I'd be worried.
It's a good spot to have it.
Lockie asked me if you have any chance of rain here tonight. I looked at the radar before the race. I didn't see any rain on the horizon. I'll quickly check it now again. I don't believe we have any rain on offer here tonight. I think next week was supposed to be the first round of rain. Yeah, no rain out whatsoever. Dylan Shepherd's had a moment. He's dropped it a bit far back off the leader now. And that car looks to be crabbing a little bit at the moment.
It it is. A bit of a war up there as well.
I believe this will give us the answers to our questions as to why this has happened to him. So down towards turn 1. Oh, big lockup. Nearly took out the leader and put it in the wall. De Vries had nowhere to go. Nearly collected him. Very, very lucky there not to collect Dylan Shepherd and ruin both their races.
That could have... Yeah, wow. Could have ended badly, that one.
That could have ended very, very poorly. That could have led to our first safety car.
Yeah, it's... Oh, look. I want a safety car, but I don't want a safety car. Yeah, you want these guys to have as much clean running and, you know, as many laps and, you know, pacey. Throwback from last week. You want them to sort of, you know, have that enjoyment of a decent race, but kind of want the excitement of having the restarts as well.
Oh, that's right, and what the restarts can lead to. I saw Anderson was over the radio just before we managed to get the word off in there, Steph, or have you got it tonight?
I did have it playing, but I missed what he said. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I wanted to know if he was complaining about the traffic and something like that, because he was flashing his lights to let him know he was coming past, but it's not 100%
I think he was calling through for some blue flag assistance potentially. But I missed exactly what he said.
King around the outs. That was very courageous. And I tell you what, Dylan Shepherd was not happy about that. And
No.
I cannot blame him. That was incredibly reckless. It was very reckless of Josh King to go for that round the outside there.
Pass.
No, definitely not.
Not like that anyway.
No, no. That's a corner you kind of just slot in between them and then wait for the exit because you'll get him down the straight.
Yeah.
As Keegan Caldwell's had an incident down at turn 1.
Oh no.
And he's missing the whole
Straight
front
in.
of that car. What's he done to it here? Down into turn 1 he comes. Does he outbrake himself? He does. He's pushing so hard to try and catch up to De Vries and
locked it straight ahead.
pushed it into the wall. So just too overzealous on that one. That car's now got heavy damage and will likely end up at the back of the field once he brings it in and gets it fixed up. Unfortunately for him though, he's going to have to use up his one and only fast repair here tonight. So if he gets into another crash, that could be race over. Oh, now what's Dodds paying to hold his lead? Oh, sorry, I completely missed it. Do apologise. Doddsy, he's paying us in meat pies from the Queen's Cliff FC canteen. That's what he's paying us in.
Be right, yeah. In Queenscliff.
He's also paying us candies. That was past goal. Realistically, it's what is he paying his teammate to leave him in front? Because we know that Grotch has got a bit of pace over Doddsy. So what's he paying Brandon Grotch to stay in P1 at the moment? That's the real question we should be asking.
Oh, I think Grotch is playing a smart game by sitting in behind and fuel saving a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a bit of you know, let Dodds keep the lead. Rusty in the chat, how about them Bronx off? We don't talk about fake football, Rusty. That's glorified handball. How I know you're a New South Welshman, Steph. How often do they kick the ball in that sport?
Every 5 tackles.
Compared to every time someone holds the ball.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You know.
Or when they're kicking for goal at the end of a try or a field goal or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
every.
Not really football then, is it?
Well, probably not.
No.
Still, it's rugby league. Football, rugby league. It's close enough.
They don't use their feet enough.
Well, when you look, I follow rugby league, obviously being New South Wales. You know, yeah, you get a set of. What was it, a 5-set play, every minute, roughly 60 seconds, just over 60 seconds. So over 40 minutes, that's a decent amount of kicks.
Compared to the other form of football, the other two forms of football in this country,
yeah,
where they kick it every 5 seconds.
Correct.
So,
round ball football, I call that one.
That's, well, European football and Australian rules football. They're kicking it, you know, more times across a game. You know, AFL players getting 30-odd disposals. We get a good battle for the GTs and the GT lead at the moment on the other screen. Oh, sorry, for P2 on the road. As Barb's is now all over the back of Ryan Jones with Dylan Shepherd at the moment. The odds for Dodds to win this race, I think Grotch is probably paying $1.10. I'd say Doddsy's paying $1.70 at the moment. And then DeVries probably, and then DeVries probably $2.10.
He's a fair bit off the 5 seconds back. Definitely wouldn't be on the
that's the live odds for that one.
The live odds. Gamble responsibly, people. Bet with your head, not over it.
If you're under 18, do not gamble. Just get your parents to do it for you. Of course, no, I'm joking, obviously. Do not do that.
Don't do that.
We have really just started to go off the deep end.
We have, haven't we? What's going on?
Most ball sports are actors these days. I don't know if you can claim that about AFL. They get copped with a pretty heavy hit fairly often. Tyson McAvoy, $15.
There are some pretty good odds. Sign me up.
Yeah. Mick Clifford at the moment is P16 on the road, P8 in class, Rusty. Bit off the order a little bit. He's had a couple of knocks, just waiting to his first pit stop to get the car fixed up, it seems, but not too far off the back of Damien McVeigh at the moment, who's currently P7 in class.
Got a bit of aero. Wouldn't be affecting the handling too much. Most likely top speed, having that bit of front bar damage, I would suspect. The Ferrari are a fairly fragile car. I was having this discussion with my teammates last night. The Ferrari is quite a fragile car compared to the Porker. Yeah, we've been in incidences where it's only a slight tap and the whole front end just falls off. You know, and the Porker can smash a wall and continue on fine. So it seems to be a hell of a lot more fragile than many of the other cars out there.
So before it said that Jack Anderson had a crash, I just want to double check it. Just in case it's anything worse than it might have been. Coming into turn 1, down the inside of Greg Johnson. Oh yeah, that's not where you want to go. Into the wall. Ash DeVries has also had a moment as well. In the other half of that team, in the Barbie car, down the inside of one of the Blackout OPR cars.
Here comes our first safety car.
Yeah, and this will be why. Down into turn 1, went for the move into the wall. Big damage. Got it going again, but you see that front wheel has been disconnected. So all of a sudden he is out of proper contention. Brandon Grotch has apparently had an incident as well.
Everyone, all the front GTD cars have jumped into the lane at this stage.
Oh, and he just ran it a bit too deep.
Yeah.
Good Mr. Grotch. This will now back the whole field back up again as a lot of them are coming in. Dodsy's into the lane as well as Ferguson, Mitchell. I believe King should be coming in. Obviously, DeVries, well, by the time he tows back and comes out, he won't get a wave around. Then Anderson will be able to get his car fixed as well after he knocked the wall too. So, be interesting to see how this all plays out now.
I would think you should be able to make it home from here. Should be within the pit window, I would suspect. It's almost, well, 18, almost 19 minutes in.
Well, Anderson will be hoping to get a wave around here from the safety car. It's not letting him go. He'll be wanting to get into the pits. He hasn't.
Yeah.
No, he has come in. Actually, came in on lap 14. So he'll get a wave around though from the safety car anyway when the leader comes around. Otherwise, he'll be at risk of going a lap down. Will some of the GTD cars. He gets his wave around.
Just called it then, yeah.
He now comes through. Zach saying Dodd's in Grotch's head now. Into him, Dodd.
Jones,
no mercy. I mean, they are
Jones
teammates.
got a wave around.
Yeah. So I'd say the majority of those GTD cars are going to get wave arounds.
Yeah, they're calling them all out now.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Get them all back on the lap.
Caldwell will also get one as well. But unfortunately for him, he's going to be, unless they let him pass the GTD field, he's going to be stuck behind them all when he gets one.
Be fair way back.
If you're not first, you're last.
DeVries has just been given permission to tow.
He's been let back into pits. He'll now be at the back of the field. Whether he continues running or not, we'll wait and see. Of course, 20 minutes into the 45 means we only have 20 minutes left of possible safety cars occurring. Jamie asking if you're ready for Belle Isle in the 8.6s, Steph.
No. Confession, I don't normally do any practice until the Wednesday night. And then Wednesday night, I jump in the 86. I race Mondays every second. Trying to do Tuesdays in SRW here in the supercars. It hasn't been working out for me lately. So hopefully I'll be in the seat on Tuesday coming in the supercar. Wednesday night is my 86 practice night before the Thursday night race. So I don't do a lot. Kind of probably should do a bit more than I do to try and secure higher up in the championship. Going into last night's race, I think I was P3, equal third in the championship. So for the AM, so I would have preferred to be a bit further up. Just got to get me backside in the seat, really. But have I done many laps around Belle Isle? No, I actually only purchased it the other day. So
do some practice. Ash was in the chat that Ash guy is a fool. The DeVries curse is real. And that answers our question if Ash is going to be back out on track. Unfortunate luck for you there, Shoz, but hopefully now you can have a better run tomorrow in the N24. Jamie as well saying it's good to see you out there, Steph, doing well.
Yeah, cheers, Jamie. Try and get out there and do my best. I get quite frustrated and whatnot. I was a little bit naughty last night and ended up with a pit lane start for impeding in quali. So slap on the wrist for myself there. But look, out there giving it a crack. So
Shoz is actually getting back on track. So Ash will be at the back of the field. He'll be hoping for another safety car to get his lap back on the field. Of course, he's out of the pits now before going 2 laps down. That was imperative for him because unless we get 2 more safety cars, he'd never be back on the lead lap if he went 2 laps down. So now he just needs to rely on 1 more occurring and he'll be able to get back on that lead lap. As long as he doesn't cause it, of course.
That's right. Yeah. The safety car almost hit the wall there at the hairpin.
Yeah, would it be a good look for Leakey if he, number 1, blew the engine at Bathurst, and then number 2, hit the wall at Long Beach?
In an 86. One of the slowest cars, wasn't he?
Yeah. I have no idea how he blew the engine in the Merc GT4, and if he somehow wrecks that Chrome 86, he might be getting a bill from Cinco on that one. We'll have to wait.
I think he might.
Like the kids saying, Mark betting up $10 to $1.50.
$1.50.
Nah, he's sitting at $1.69 at the moment, as Grotch is right up behind him. Grotch, though, at $1.20 now after making that mistake. Ferguson's rate's now gone up to $1.90, being that he's right on the back of them. DeVries has now dropped to $15 off the back of him being a lap down.
Sign me up. Go for the roughie.
Actually, no, not 15. We'll go 75. It's paying out $75. Andrew Dyson to win overall's currently paying out $50. So overall, so he'd have to finish P1 ahead of all the GTP cars.
He would.
As the minutes tick down, though, it goes up by $5. So by 25 minutes, he'll be at $55. So it's getting harder and harder for him to topple that one.
You'd possibly have to have all the GTPs disconnect for that one, wouldn't you?
Nah. Just have a
Crash
big old schmozzle on the last lap. He'll be right. Pricey's loving it in the chat. We know that Pricey loves a cheeky punt, being a Queenslander.
Every now and again's alright.
Moderation. As the safety car appears to be pulling away. I just realised I didn't even have the safety car graphic up this whole time. There it is. Unfortunately, there it goes. Completely forgot about it. That's alright. We're going to get back underway very, very shortly. Safety car has now pulled away, ladies and gentlemen. So Harry Dodds will have control of the field. If we did bonus points for leading the most laps, he would be getting that bonus point here tonight. Pricey, love the commentary. Thanks, mate. Doddsy continues around the final couple of corners. It'll be single file on the restart, it seems. We'll see when Dodds goes. He looks to have gone on exit. It was a big wiggle off the exit for Doddsy. Grotch has gone with him. They'd be in the Discord together, letting him know when he's going. And down towards turn one they come, as Anderson has had a moment at the final corner. I believe he may have actually dropped out just then and there as they come on through. We'll keep an eye on turn one if anything happens here. King comes round.
Jack
I believe Caldwell's still running. He's a bit further back.
Jack Oz has said the power blipped out.
That would answer our question. So that is now disconnected him from the server. Unfortunate there for Jack. He was well on the lead lap there as there's been a spin round. That's Josh King in the wall. Unfortunately for him, in the GTP class. That's not how you want to rejoin the track, Josh. You don't want to get stuck in the wall, man.
Needs to go back a bit more in those ones. They are turning circles a bit like a truck.
Well, they are a bit of a boat, to be fair, so...
Yeah, they don't have very good turning circle on those things.
Ironically, actually, the GTPs are actually smaller than what people realise. They're actually, they take up hardly anything on the road. It's just caught the curb. Very, very easy to do, and then lit it up on exit. And parked it on the wall.
Be lucky it's spat him to the right hand side and not into the tyres or into the line of traffic there.
Yeah, he was probably lucky the GTDs were a little bit further back as well. They didn't collect all the way through.
Might have brought out safety car number 2.
That's Caldwell trapped in a bit of traffic. Anderson is back out there, I thought. No, that's the reason why. Getting confused with both the Barbie and the Ken car. I don't know if Anderson will be back out there because he will be a couple laps down. He's already a couple laps down, so I doubt he's going to be back out there now. The race trying to make his way back through the field. He's all over the back of Keegan Caldwell, who is a lap ahead of him. Delaney flashing Keegan, perhaps not happy with that move. Not 100% sure as the reason now comes on through.
Might be just doing what I do, and when you're getting lapped and you know, yep, no worries, thanks. I'll do that occasionally.
Oh, I have a special button which is middle finger out now. I pull out whenever I'm lapped. Very rarely pull that out now, especially in officials, because I could get banned for it, to be fair. So
exactly right.
It's normally only when I'm having a bit of fun with the boys in a Pro 4 session or something. As Grotch takes the lead from Dodds, so there has been a lead change now between both the Fog Leap Juice Racing drivers, and all of a sudden that $1.10 is looking pretty spicy for Grotch here in the lead of this race.
Grotch has actually pulled away from Dodds. Doddsy there. It's a decent gap he's pulled.
Yeah, he's not happy after putting a pineapple on the $1.55 for Doddsy. Or $1.69, I should say. Easy's not happy. There's our current intervals on track. Fucking dog moved by Grotch penalty. They're teammates. What do you mean? It was obvious that Dodds was likely going to let him pass. That's why the odds were where they were. It's fine. Doddsy's had his 30 disposals for the night. Now he gets to sit on the bike in the dugout. Grotch looks to go on to another victory. 15 minutes to go in this session. I don't know how likely we are to get another safety car here tonight now, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's close to that end point, the pointy end. Closer and closer to the end of it. So these are the last 5-10 minutes. You don't get a safety car, so we're getting closer to that now. It's just clicked over 30 minutes.
Jordan Ferguson looks to chase down Harry Dodds now for P2 of this race. Lucky Kid saying, I'll be having a strong word with Dodds tomorrow. Really needs to rethink how he races. Phenomenal. As Keegan Caldwell's had an incident and he's in the wall and it looks like, I was going to say he's stuck. No, he wasn't.
Fuck no.
So how's that happened to Keegan? Well, calm down. We're having a good time, Tice. It's a good night.
That's it. Got it on.
Oh, he's done it to himself.
Oof. Big hit.
It was. Oh, it was good of him to get out of the way of the other car. Very, very lucky not to get collected there. And he's had another one further down. Oh, he's run it way too deep. I have to try and foot speed to get out of there possibly. Yeah, he does so. Unfortunately for Keegan, that might be night over for him with only 13.5 minutes to go. Brandon Grotch currently leads the way to Harry Dodds, to Jordan Ferguson. That's the top three of the GTP class, to Zach Mitchell, Josh King. Keegan Caldwell has just brought it into the pits and Ash DeVries in behind. Remembering that Keegan's already used his fast repair. So this will likely be race over as he'll need to actually do the optionals and requireds in the pits. For the GTD class at the moment is Andrew Dyson in P1 as he gets passed by Josh King. Ahead of Dylan Shepherd, Ryan Jones, that's the top three. Greg Barber, Ty Delaney, Damien McBay, Chris Island, Adam Hughes, Mick Clifton, Dean Mackay, and then Greg Johnson. Our current non-finish at the moment is Jack Anderson at this stage in time.
Got it on Shepherd, Jones, and Dyson there. They're having a fair decent crack at it. The three of them there. It's been a bit swapsies between Dyson and Shepherd for a couple of laps there. Nice and close racing between them.
Yeah, they're having a real good battle at the moment. Behind the leader, Dyson. 3 teams across the top 5 of GTD. Of course, DPR, Black Hat OPR, and Fishy Motorsports as well. We now only have 6 GTP cars left on the circuit. Oh, as Grotch catches the traffic of Jono there at the last corner. Could have ended poorly for him.
Might have blind corner
might have made the fans go wild though for Harry Dodds if he managed to get past him. But as Keegan's now back out on track, but unfortunately for him, he is 2 laps down on the leaders. I think he's back on the track now. He's out of the race. Unfortunately for Keegan, so he's probably seen the repair job, and unfortunately for him, probably not enough time to get that car fixed. But Grotch leads the way. Dodds in behind, trying to chase him down. They're looking good for a 1-2 finish for their team at the moment. Ferguson in behind them, with Mitchell fast approaching. And then Josh King, the last GTP car on the lead lap at this stage in time.
Andrew Rushworth in the chat, really enjoying this pacey raceness. My teammate there giving me a bit of slack. But we were talking about it for, probably till Tuesday. I think we were having a good laugh about it. So
Chirping you up, that's what it is.
That's alright, we do it to each other. It's
I
all
think
good.
I mentioned it on Tuesday when you weren't on track as well.
Oh, did you really?
I may have.
I was down seeing my dad before he shoots off to Europe till the end of July. So, he's out of the country for a good chunk. So, I'll be there Tuesday. I'll make an effort. I'll be there Tuesday. I have no idea what track we're going to be at, but I'll be there on Tuesday.
Well, I'll be able to tell you what track we're at.
I haven't looked it up.
I can have a look.
Terrible.
I'll quickly have a look. So we can update people on what we have going for next week stage. So for the supercars, we go to Jerez for both the Tuesday Supercar Series and the Sunday Supercar Series. That's not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after. No, I know I mentioned it at Road Atlanta, Andrew, because Steph was here, but I believe I mentioned it to Sinka on the Tuesday series as well. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Suzuka for next Tuesday and the Sunday after for supercars. For the F3s, they head out to Long Beach. 2 weeks in a row we get track, sorry, and then Detroit obviously for the 8.6s. Next week for IMSA, we head back to Europe for Mugello, which is looking like the first rain round at this stage as Brandon Grotch has run it wide through turn 1. I had an incident. Is this it here? No. Brandon's on the back of
There we've Mick
he just shot up the inside and had to park it up.
Oh, he's parked it.
Roach is not far up the road, so why has he slowed down through 1? Oh, I think he's gone for the move and then he's had to back out of it, I think.
Had to back out, yeah.
Yeah, he's gone for it at the inside. We've seen it catch a couple of drivers and he was very lucky there. But that car will be carrying big, big damage. This could be the moment
big hit
that Doddsy needs now to try and get past him. Is he carrying any steering damage at this stage? We'll see when he comes down into the straight. Oh, maybe slight right hand down.
Slightly. It's not a huge.
It wouldn't be affecting him too much, but it may affect his ability to get through certain corners under brakes. So he needs to be careful of that, going for any moves into the braking zones.
Heard over the radio there a drive-through penalty for car 23 for was it Chris Island for overuse of comms.
They've got to be careful of it. They can't overuse them, of course. They need to be using the comms for the correct motives of calling in race control. For anyone at home not aware of how they need to call it in, I'll give you an example. It would be race control car 98. I would then have to wait for race control to answer me. I then say, we'll go lap 28, turn 9, please. And then they'll answer back. And then they'll look at it. That's pretty much the gist, isn't it, Steph, of how they call things in? If they want blue flags, instead of naming the lap number of the corner number, they say, could I please get a blue flag check, please?
Yep.
Again.
And yeah, always state your car number and your lap that you're on, because they're not always watching live. They could be watching another incident at the time that you call through.
So you could say, lap 29 is my current lap. Can I get a blue flag check, please? You'll get an answer for race control. But just doing it, cool, calm, collected. As Island's had a crash now. He's come into the lane though. I think he's actually decided to do a naughty here. I'm just going to double check it. Has he done a naughty off the back of that?
I'm just hearing the comms. It sounds like it's been a
oh, he's clipped the wall.
Oh. too late there, race control.
What were they saying?
Broadcast don't show it. Just as it came up.
I was a bit too late. I'm sorry about that one.
Split second. But Look, it is what it is.
He lost control of the car. He lost control of the car through turn 1.
He did. Looked like he locked the brake and went straight ahead.
Yeah, he turned in a little bit too early.
Wouldn't turn in.
As Brandon Grotch leads the way at the moment. Dodds odds update. I'd say it's probably at $1.99 at the moment. I'd say Grotch is still sitting comfortably at $1.10. Zach Mitchell goes now into P3 in this race, so he's looking for paying $1.89. Well, is that on Dabble, not on Sportsbet? We're giving out Sportsbet's odds at the moment. But no, Zach Mitchell now P3. He's now gotten past Jordan Ferguson, so he's looking to get 2 podiums in a row at this stage in time. We're just about on the 5 minutes to go marker now, so it looks like neither of us were right on the safety cars here tonight, Steph. Which I'm not that surprised about, to be fair. It's
look,
it was either going to be 1 or 2. I didn't think we'd get none.
No, he's always going to have at least 1.
Yeah.
A bit overzealous going for the 3.
No,
a bit over eager.
You went for the chaos pick, and I can appreciate it. I've done it before. Maybe if there was rain.
His track can go one of 2 ways. Just had an incident there in the GTPs at the final corner. Missed who it was though, unfortunately. I think it might have been Delaney potentially.
Yeah, Ty Delaney's had something happen.
Had a bit of a spin.
Through the final corner he came. Oh yeah, we just hooked that wall with the rear quarter panel. That's what
it did. So you know, Jack's put in the chat that he's in the waiting room.
Yeah, he's waiting. He's waiting to chat to race control.
Ah, that's what it is. Gotcha. I thought he was trying to hope to get into the broadcast.
Well, we have had an odd driver or 2 come in on the broadcast before, to be fair.
Good on you, Jack.
But yeah, no, he probably wanted to get a clarification from race control on something.
No, that's easy enough to do. It's you know, guys here are good at doing that.
And they would prefer drivers get clarified on something than to say no and have them not understand.
Exactly.
Easiest course of action. The gap's already out to 3.2 seconds now over Dodds by Grotch here at the front end of this race. First battle on track at the moment is Mick Clifton all over the back of Dean Mackay at the moment from TriStar Racing. Let's see how this battle continues to form up for us here. If either of them seem to go for moves. He hasn't fixed his car yet, Steph. Either that or he's got more damage and he's gone into the wall.
Oh no, he'll be dirtying himself for that one. If I know Mick, oh, he's gone in again. If I know Mick, he will be dirty.
He knows we're watching him. That's the problem.
Yes.
Well, that means now our closest battle on track is actually Greg Barber and Ryan Jones, but continue about Mick.
It looked like he actually hit the speed limiter there as well. He'll be dirty about that one. These two here, Barber and Jones, been going at it for a while. Been sitting in behind. They haven't swapped positions overly much, but they're sitting close together, which has been good.
Well, they've been around each other pretty much the whole race. They've been in a tight battle all throughout. Barb's on it slightly wide there, but Jones unable to get past. Andrew Rushworth not a happy camper in the chat after the Clifton moment as Ashton Rees now comes past them down the straight. This battle for just a moment here. Only a minute and a half to go in this one. The leader's about to start what I would say would be the second to last lap, possibly the last lap. This battle will continue. Just Barber ahead of Jones at the moment. I'd say we're going to have 2 laps left. He's crossed the line already, and we're not at like 1:10 left. So I'd say it's going to be 2 more laps for this man right here, Brandon Grotch. As he continues onto the back of Mick Clifton now. He'll be patient about this. Got a 5-second gap back to Dodds, so he's been released out of P2. And now he's able just to push on to another race win for himself in the GTP car. And he'll be happy because next week he's changing over to the Acura and he could be a real dangerous competitor once again. Bit of a scrape of the wall through 9, but looking strong up on towards the final lap of this race.
Yeah, I remember when we were chatting to him in the podium chat the other week, he was saying that he likes the Acura and it's definitely suited for next week. So he was just hanging out till after Long Beach to swap over. So it'll be good to see that one out there on track next week.
Barney's out there waving the white flag. Final lap of the race for Brandon Grotch. He continues on towards victory here. Down through turn 1 now. Looking nice and tidy and strong at the moment. Losing everything at the moment. We've got a bit of a cough going and everything. It's been a strong performance from him though, once again, obviously. It does. Yeah. You know, Doddsy was just chilling him first, but I think it was, you know, that's why we jokingly but also seriously said that Grotch was at $1.10. It wasn't very likely that he was going to keep him at bay for very long.
No.
Jack was saying Mitchell for El Presidente. He's on for another podium this week. He had P2 last week, P3 at the moment.
Yep.
As Grotch comes up towards the FD section of the track.
Nice and consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't need to win races. As long as you're consistent, you'd be surprised where you can finish up on the ladder.
Yeah, it's a bit of consistency is always needed. It's going to be a photo finish for Frog Leap Juice Racing, as Brandon Grotch will lead Harry Dodds across the line in P1 and P2. Mitchell's going to come across the line in behind in P3. Ferguson comes home P4. Josh King's got pretty much a whole lap to do before he gets across the line in P5, but the leader, Andrew Dyson of the GTD field, has been ultra consistent once again. Are we back in season 1 of 2024? Because we've got Brandon Grotch winning a race and Andrew Dyson about to win a race as well.
It feels like it, doesn't it? It definitely feels like it.
He's done very, very well once again here tonight, though. Andrew Dyson's going to come across the start-finish line. He is going to win for the GTD field. And Dylan Shepherd from Blackout OPR and his teammate Greg Barber's going to hold off Ryan Jones to come home on the podium, with Josh King in behind coming home P5 for the GTPs. DeVries unfortunately got his lap back in the end. Only 3 non-finishers here tonight: Jack Anderson, Keegan Caldwell and Chris Ireland.
Yeah, it's a shame there he didn't get his lap back. Yeah, he would have definitely stuck it to the guys if he was able to get back, and if we had another safety car, it definitely would have been on for him. So that's a bit of a shame that he's missed out on that.
Checkered flag flying, of course, for the whole field. This is the provisional race results for round number 4 of season 2 of 2024. For the GTD field, it was Andrew Dyson ahead of Dylan Shepherd and Greg Barber to make up the podium. Ryan Jones and Adam Hughes, they make up the top 5, meaning that only 3 teams made it into the top 5 cars, Blackout OPR and Simrig's DPR respectively. It's then Ty Delaney being best of the rest in P6 ahead of Damien McBay. Dean Mackay, Mick Clifton, Greg Johnson and Greg Leake in behind. Brett Wardby never got started and Chris Ireland never finished the race. Then into the GTP class, Brandon Grotch finished out in P1 for a Frog Leap Juice Racing 1-2 finish ahead of his teammate Harry Dodds. Zach Mitchell then comes home P3 for Velocity Racing Team ahead of his teammate Jordan Ferguson in P4. Josh King then in P5 and Ash DeVries the last of the finishers in the prototype class with Keegan Caldwell and Jack Anderson unable to finish this race here tonight.
As eventful as I was expecting, but great great close racing, especially across both classes there. It was great. It was great to watch.
Yeah, they did really, really well for both classes here tonight. Really, really good to see a lot of these performances on hand.
Yeah.
See a bit of a burnout in the background of Zach Mitchell coming up onto the line. He was excited about that one.
Thought I could hear someone doing a burnout.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out who it was.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to come up to the line, and then I just see him slowly in the background. I'm like, oh, he's doing a burnout. That's why. We have got Dodsy in the room. We are going to have to wait, though, for our GTD podium before we chat to anyone. Mugello next week, Steph, looking like it's going to be rain for that one. Could be quite a spicy round for these drivers across both classes, especially the prototypes, which we know struggle in the rain a little bit.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a drive in the prototype in the rain. Not long after it was released. I think it was the week after it was released, and holy dooly, what a handful. Get me back in the 86 in the rain. Forget about the prototype. Good luck to the guys who are in the prototype next week. They're gonna need it. The rain, the puddles. You can't take your traditional line with it. So what racing line you're used to, you can't run it because that's where the puddles are. Unfortunately,
well, it's
for some unknown reason.
It's not just where the puddles are, Steph. It's where the rubber build-up is.
Where the rubber is, yeah.
And I mean, if you're on a green track, then you can run that line if there's literally no rubber on the tarmac.
Yeah.
But when you're through a practice and a qualifying session, and all of a sudden rain comes, you got to completely change up the way that you tackle the track. So
yeah, you're in trouble.
It's Dodsy left the green room. I hope he doesn't think we're not going to talk to him. I hope he does come back. But we have got a couple of GT boys in there, and Barbs and Shep. We'll bring them both in just a moment's time since they are of the same team. But we'll just get some B-roll replays happening for everyone at home. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you are notified anytime we go racing, of course. Big round coming up next week, and a big end to this round as well, with supercars on Sunday night out at Jerez with the Pro and Pro-Ams on offer for you. It's going to be a big, big night of racing. No, we want this angle because it's both of them coming in. Let's get all my stuff sorted quickly here.
That's all right. It's always fun racing around Long Beach, no matter what car you're in. Not sure sort of the guys in the chat think about Long Beach. I don't mind it myself. It's a bit of fun. Whenever I see it on the schedule, it's always a good race there. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's a nice little solid track. Not everyone loves it, but I'm a big fan. Right, we're going to drag in our GTD P2 and P3 in Greg Barber and Dylan Shepherd. We thought we'd bring you both in, boys, since you're both representing the same team, of course. Double podium here tonight for you guys, P2 and P3. Barbs, we saw you battling it out with Ryan there for the majority of that race, really. How does it feel to bring it home and get it onto the podium once again?
Yeah, it was a bit dicey there at the end. I got a bit distracted by all the comms that were going on and just missed a braking point down the end of the back straight and nosed it into the tyres with a reasonable amount of force, but just took a little bit of damage, but was able to hold him off.
So obviously, Dyson started to run away with it in the end. You know, were you guys working together there for a period of time trying to hold off the other DPR boys, or was it just try and make it to the end and see what happens?
It was after the safety car. It was pretty much flat out. I think Shep would agree. But I don't know if those boys took rears at the stop. We did. So we're hoping that'd give us a little bit of advantage off the corners, and I actually think that's what might have got me home against Jones at the end there. I started to get a little bit better drive than him in the last couple of laps.
So Dylan, I'm sorry, Steph, you go ahead.
No, you go. You're right.
No, I was gonna say something to Dylan there, but you're more than welcome to
go for
go.
it.
I
No,
cut you
you're
off
right
on that one.
No, you're right. You go.
All right, Dylan, a good podium finish for you here tonight. Just didn't have quite enough in the tank to get up to Dyson in the end. But a double podium for you guys. Are you guys feeling strong now going into Mugello, being that it looks like it could be raining next week for the next round?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, backing up from a win last week and second tonight. Barb's showed some really good pace after qualifying 7th. To come back to 3rd for him is unreal. So, yeah, it just wasn't enough to get Dyson. Caught him, was within a second of him with like 2 laps to go, but just hit a wall and, yeah, just lost a bit of time. So, no, it was good. Confidence is high. We've got some experience Mugello, so hopefully it shows.
Do you both think it'll be a good track for the multi-class madness on offer? I mean, it's a nice, long, wide circuit. Could be good in terms of not getting caught up in anything. We have on screen at the moment, unfortunately, teammate Adam Hughes getting caught up in the fountain. Not much, not so likely to have that happen next week out at Mugello.
Yeah, we've done races around there recently in like the IMSA kind of series. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot nicer. There's still always the problem of losing time when they pass you in an awkward spot. Being wider, it probably means they think they've got a bit more of the corner than they actually do. So there's always that. But yeah, I think the incident count will definitely be lower.
Yeah, I think they'll have a downforce advantage heaps bigger than this track at least. So they'll be able to use that to their advantage in some of those long corners and sweep around the outside most of the time.
Even with rain, I think it could be a bit of a cleaner affair than tonight. Obviously, Long Beach always offers up a couple of incidents. Steph, what were you going to say to them just before I rudely cut you off?
No, that's okay. You already asked the question I was going to ask.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Oh, well, it's taken over apparently.
We're good.
Let us know, boys, who helps get you and Blackout OPR on track, and anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well.
Yeah, Shep's the team leader. He can do that.
Yeah, thanks to all the boys for all their hard work behind the scenes. Simrigs.com for all their help and support. Distraction, Shunt Scenery, Palmerston Bakery, Fisher and Door Lawyers, and Astute Finance.
Very good, boys. I just realised I'm going to have to turn you up a little bit, Dylan, for the next time we talk, but that's all good, mate.
So I think my mic away a bit.
All right, thanks for coming over chat to us, Greg Barber, Dylan Shepherd. Best of luck at Mugello next week, and if we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck for next season. Oh, not next season, the rest of the season.
Rest of the season.
Thanks, Hamish Munro.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll drag in our P1 here tonight for the GTD class. Of course, he's a man we've spoken to many a time here in the booth from Simrigs DPR. It is Andrew Dyson. Hopefully, a glorious beard and all. Dyson, another win in your books. We said on the broadcast, you win, Grotch wins. It feels like it's season 1 all over again. But how does it feel to get the win under your belt out at Long Beach?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, any wins it's a good win, so you take that. But reasonably good race as well. I mean, there was a bit of pressure from behind, sort of the whole way, so that was good.
So, how was it dealing with some of the traffic, but also the battles at the same time around this track? Obviously, it's a tight street circuit, a bit hard to get moves done, and when you've got fast approaching GTP cars coming up whilst you're battling for your win, how does that all kind of come together in terms of the pressure that might be on your shoulders out there?
Well, I guess you kind of at the mercy of when the GTPs are going to catch you, really. So you can't control that. So there's no point getting mad about it. I mean, I still do because I'm like, gee, I hope this guy passes me before we get to the corner. And sometimes you have to go side by side into the corner, and you kind of like swearing at him, but that's just the way it is, isn't it? So you just got to manage it the best you can, and yeah, hopefully it sort of doesn't hurt you too badly. But that wasn't too bad to me tonight. I mean, I had a few times there where I had to go side by side into a corner. But it didn't work out too badly. So yeah, the GTPs were sort of getting it in and getting the moves done, and it was good.
So obviously, Mugello next week looking like there could be rain on the horizon for that one. I checked the weather last week for it, and it did look like there was going to be rain. I am just going to quickly check it again though, just to double check that we have got rain next week, or at least some form of rain. We'll check.
Saying 85%.
There's 60% of rain in practice. I'm not going to reveal if there's any other rain after that, but there's 60% chance in practice. So I guess going into that track, which is pretty good for it's pretty good for multi-class racing. Nice wide track, plenty of overtaking areas. How does it, does that kind of change up the game plan a little bit now, and how does that kind of reshape how you're going to attack that track next week?
The rain, or you mean by how wide the track is and all the opportunities you mean?
I guess two-part question. We'll have the combo part at the end of the rain plus that, but then also the track itself.
Oh, okay. So the combination of things, I guess, if it settles in either rain or dry, it doesn't really matter because you kind of get used to it and you can go with it from there. It's the changing conditions that everyone says it. The changing conditions that make it a little bit more difficult. But I guess I haven't really done too many laps there in the rain. Sorry, I lie. I've never done a lap there in the rain. I'm sure nobody else has either. Really, we haven't raced every single track in the wet, unless you spend your whole life on the sim. So, discovering the unexplored lines will be fun. That's always good. So that should mix things up a little bit. Guys will find a bit of grip and just drive around the outside of you or down the inside of you somewhere, and you'll be like, "Wow, that's where the grip is." Okay. But yeah, as far as the track goes, really drafty down the front straight. So moves down into turn one, should be on. It's I always remember playing racing that track on other games, like on console games back in the day, where you go through sort of the turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 complex, and you can get a lot of switchback racing going on. But you can sort of balk a switchback pretty easily, like if you know what you're doing. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It should be some good racing.
We've had some love for you in the chat from Jack Oz saying great race from the human vacuum. So you've earned the win there.
No, I'll take that. I'll get around it.
Yeah. Oh, mate, let us know helps get you and Simrig's DPR out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
Yeah, big shouts to the old Dyson Corporation for the vacuum cleaners, the hand dryers, all that stuff. Get around those folks. I think they're doing hair curlers now these days too. So get your missus on board with the Dyson hair curler. But no, seriously, thanks to Simrigs.com, all the boys in DVR, and all of you folks for putting the league on, and for you guys and girls who put on this little broadcast. We appreciate it.
You caught yourself out there midway.
Although I maintain that guys includes women and men.
I think that's fair. As if you don't have the hair curler for your beard, Dyson.
No. Well, it's not long enough, remember. I shaved it off, but it is coming back slowly, so it's coming back.
We'll have to see if you can try and get some sponsorship from Dyson for DPR. But we'll have to wait and see on that front. But congratulations, mate, on your P1 once again. Best of luck next week for Magella. If we don't get a chance to speak to you, though, best of luck for the rest of the season ahead.
Thanks, man. See you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. We'll bring in our P3 finisher from the GTP class, Zach Mitchell from Velocity Racing Team. El Presidente in a second race in a row, and you get onto the podium for a second time in a row. How was dealing with the traffic on hand out there, trying to get through, but also trying to survive the concrete jungle of Long Beach as well?
It was hell, I'm going to be honest. Like, there was a lot of GT3 people who were moving out of the way, and then they wouldn't move out of the way, so you were trying to protect the traffic, just being chaos. And half the track you can't overtake. The other half where you can overtake, everybody's vying for the position. GTPs are on top of each other. GTDs are on top of each other. It's just a shit show, really.
You sound like you've just described Long Beach perfectly, though.
I did, yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
that is just Long Beach.
Yeah,
honestly.
That's the tagline that's on the town sign for Long Beach. You just get caught up on top of each other when trying to go for overtakes. But next week is a rain race, but I don't believe you'll be racing next week. But I guess how have you enjoyed the last two races? Obviously, Road Atlanta last week, Long Beach this week. Two races that are well known for multi-class racing, and two tracks that can really throw up some chaos when someone gets out of shape.
Yeah, unfortunately just sort of watched people slowly fall away in my own class. Just, silly mistakes. The track's really bumpy. You can lock one brake. That's sort of the end of you a lot of the time. So, same with Road Atlanta, though. There's a lot of spots where if you make a small mistake, it costs you dearly.
Well, of course, Jack Oz's power locked a brake, and that took him out of the race. So,
yeah, that was unfortunate for him. But it happens. That's just life, unfortunately.
Well, how does it personally feel to go 2-0 over Jordan to get onto the podium?
He got what he deserved.
All right, mate. Let us know who helps get you and Velocity Racing Team out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
I'll give a shout out to Pedro as usual. He needs that shout out.
A standard, yeah.
And I'll shout out the sponsors as well, Cheeky Squirt and Alco Holder for the team.
Very good, mate. Well, thanks for joining us here in IMSA. I know you're not racing the rest of the season, but if we ever see you out on track again, best of luck in your efforts here in SRW.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we will drag in our P1 and 2 for the class in Brandon Grotch and Harry Dodds. It does mean I have to quickly fix this up before we do that. Oh, need to have them the right way around.
Next week should be interesting.
It should be very interesting.
Good. Just had a quick squiz of that forecast myself, and I was like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah, we know when the rain's going to
We
happen.
know what's happening.
But if anyone else wants to not keep it a secret to themselves, then they can check it. But I'd recommend you don't. Leave it to a surprise. That's what's fun.
Yeah, that's the best part about it.
It is. So we'll drag in Doddsy. We'll drag in Mr. Grotch as well. P1-2 finish for Frog Leap Juice Racing for the first time this season. It didn't even take Scott Hasler to be on track, as Doddsy's finally stepped up to the plate and got it on the podium with all the fanfare in the chat. You know, you didn't sell any candy to that chat tonight. You just ran straight, kicked the drop punt, got it through the big sticks, and it worked out for your team, boys. You got the 1-2 finish, and you know, you went 1-2 in qualifying, and that's how you finished in the race. So you couldn't ask for a better result than that, could you?
No, definitely not. Like, and especially especially big shout out to big boy Brandon here. Like, he's Brandon really Brandon was obviously fuel saving, because I could tell when I took the lead, he wasn't going to push hard, he wasn't going to fight. That wasn't until the safety car came out where I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. And then all hell broke loose, and I got to slow down going into turn one, and like, oh, you're kidding me.
Well, Lockie Kidd was probably the most disappointed person in the chat, wasn't he, Steph, when he found out that Doddsy wasn't willing to fight back for the lead against Brandon. calling for a penalty on you, Brandon, for taking the lead off Doddsy. Was it kind of a foregone conclusion, though, Harry, that Brandon was probably just going to get past you at some point, or you were going to let him past, or were you just hoping he'd let you have the win?
Okay, I'm gonna say this to Key tomorrow, mate. I'll see it tomorrow, and we're gonna discuss what really went down. But apart from that, I'm actually quite happy that Brandon won, because he is ahead of me in the championship, and it really today for the team, it's all about points. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy to finish on the podium. It's the first one in the prototype. So, but yeah, really today, it's all about clawing back those points for the title towards the end of the season.
Well, I guess that's what really matters. And you both finished a clean race, and you both got on the podium. Brandon, obviously a great lap from you in qualifying to get it on pole position. You sat behind Doddsy for the majority of the running, and then took the lead and really just built the gap in the end. Another nice win for you with no Blake Neck out on track this week. Are you hoping now, next week, we know you're planning on changing to the Acura. Do we reckon we're going to see the Grotchy of old come back and start just dominating wins?
It depends on if the other boys turn up. Like, Blake's really quick, and I don't underestimate him, so it'll be tough to beat him. But I'll definitely be in the Acura next week. Looking forward to it. I was happy with my Porsche choice for the Long Beach, but yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Well, there is a portion of next race night, whatever sessions it is, there will be some rain in there somewhere, is currently on the radar for Mugello. Now, whether that's during the race, through practice, through qualifying, or just one of the sessions, we're not willing to reveal. That's up to you guys. If you are willing to check it, or you want to leave it as a surprise, then that would be nice. But there will be some moisture on track next week. I have seen the forecast. It is what it's looking like. It could change within this week, though. But how does that change the game plan going into that race, knowing how unpredictable the GTP can be in wet conditions?
Or do you want me to take the lead on this one, Brandon, or are you happy to dive into it because you're more experienced in this car still than I am?
All right, you give your thoughts first, and I'll go after.
if I'm going to be brutally honest, when we did that promotional event at Le Mans, and I jumped in the Cadillac. That it was by far probably the GDP is so undrivable in the wet conditions. Like you get fully wet, it becomes really the hardest car to drive. Really so that's got me sweating a bit for next Friday, but I'm looking forward to the challenge still.
No pressure, Harry, but I found Le Mans one of the easier tracks to drive in the wet, so guess I know what you're doing on the wet.
Well, I would say as well, Dodzy.
Classic dig at someone inexperienced in this car.
Complete chirp.
Sounds like Dodzy's going to be putting in some practice laps in the wet.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that now.
Well,
Me though.
It was torrential though at Le Mans as well, remember? So it may not be torrential next week. It may just be a light shower.
Let's hope for the best then.
The rain's gonna maybe toss my car choice up a bit. If there's gonna be a lot of rain, I might be more tempted to stick with the Porsche because the Acura I think is a bit more of a handful with its acceleration. But see what happens.
Oh, well, that's all you can do, boys, in the end. But let us know who helps get you and Frog Leap Juice Racing out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
I'll probably start with this one. Obviously, yeah, first probably is going to be the biggest shout out to my boys at the Queenscliff Football Club. They have been shooting in for the past few weeks, and they've actually been really enjoying the coverage, guys. And yeah, they've been really relishing me to get a podium, and it's finally happened. So yeah, big shout out to you boys, and I'll hand over to Brandon for the sponsors.
Thanks to all our sponsors here at Frog Leap Juice Racing in Juice Energy, Simrigs.com, Racecraft, Sudspeed Gloves, and the Petrol Company. And a huge shout out to all the boys, especially the ones doing Nords this week, but also to Harry for having a good crack tonight. It was very good. Trying to have a battle as much as
Oh, very good, boys.
I enjoyed it nonetheless. Like considering this track's not my most preferred one, it's pretty much one of my devilish tracks to come to. But yeah, I'm really happy to bounce back.
Oh, do you reckon, Dodzy, you're going to get the C this week in the upcoming game, seeing as you got on the podium, or what do you reckon?
Don't know, mate. We'll find out.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. But congratulations on both of you for your P1 and 2 here tonight. Best of luck for Mugello next week, and if we don't get a chance to speak to you, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys.
Very much.
Thanks, Steph, as well.
No problems.
Thanks, boys. All right, Steph. Well, that's going to bring an end to our broadcast here tonight for Long Beach, of course. Out here for round number 4 of Season 2. Next week, we look ahead, though, to the halfway point of the season. And Mugello, with rain on the horizon for that one, could be a very big challenge for the drivers. When that rain lands on the track, when it does happen, how long will it be out there for, and how much will it challenge those drivers? It's going to be one that no one's going to want to miss, Steph, and one that I'm going to be very excited for. Mugello, one of my favourite tracks, with rain, with multi-class. It's going to be absolutely epic.
I'm tipping chaos with the rain. It's interesting to hear that Dodzy hasn't done a lot of wet laps.
He hasn't done a lot of laps in the prototype to
not in the
begin
prototype.
with, so
Yeah. It should be interesting to see how many of the guys actually go out there now and check out the forecast. I'm sure there'll be a few of them that'll be jumping on there to check it out. Yeah, in preparation. So it'll be interesting. A race you're not going to want to miss, that's for sure.
No, and if you don't want to miss it and you don't want to risk missing it, ladies and gentlemen, then please do hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you are notified when we go live here on SRWtv, including Sunday nights Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Super Sunday Series / Monday during Scops rounds. This Sunday night we go to Jerez for that race. Then next Tuesday we start our racing week over again with the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Series out at Suzuka. Then into the F3s back here at Long Beach, brought to you by Shannon's Insurance for the Formula 3 Nationals. Thursday night, Shannon's Insurance GR86 Nationals out at Belle Isle in Detroit, another street circuit. Here next Friday night for Warren & Brown Tools IMSA Shadow Series action out at Mugello, and then rounding out next week's racing week for round 5, the Warren & Brown Tools Super Sunday Series / Monday for Suzuka. Now, whether that's on Sunday or Monday, I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check with the admins on that one, whether it's a Scops race next Sunday night or not. I'm not quite sure on that one. But for myself, Hamish Munro and Stefanie Piccoli alongside, big thank you goes out to all of our series sponsors, including our title sponsors, W&B Tools and Shannon's Insurance, as well as Motorsport Australia, NeuroPower, DSL Railway Service, Shunt Scenery, and Grim Industries. We thank you for your time. We thank you for joining us here tonight, bringing us into your homes or wherever you may be watching from. We do so appreciate it, as any engagement that we have been getting has been massively boosting the channel, massively boosting the series, and it's going to help us bring you more fantastic racing just like this one. Be sure to get into the chat if you're watching us live, get into the comments if you're watching us after the fact. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you Sunday night for the W&B Tools IMSA, wow, W&B Tools Fiat Supercars Super Sunday Series out at Jerez. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mosca and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.